Huh? Do you also see Navia and Clorinde over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than—
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too, so I don't want to—
This is—
Navia, Clorinde, what's up?
Oh, my. Well, if it isn't my dear
Huh? Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with—
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem.
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorinde and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up, and when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean,
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues, but I think this one is pretty solid.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're
So, you're saying you'll—
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal.
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will follow your lead.
Well, that solves our problem.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager.
The script manager? Didn't you just—
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life.
Wow, you're right. Whoever—
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how this—
I look forward to experiencing it.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioriobut.
Sounds good. Remember—
You say that
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you too.
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining—
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too.
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouftet. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorinde simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script.
Do you participate in a lot of
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of—
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side. But in my personal life,
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that
I would.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't.
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show.
No, that's.
Ah, I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Wait.
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marashose hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve.
Paimon's not super.
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, but I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story.
In that case,
Whoa. Just one.
aha, I see many a determined gaze before me.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes?
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good.
They really have thought of everything. Even the fatometer is.
The fatometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use.
And what about all the dessert and tea? Is that for us as well?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon.
The desserts are great. But.
Very fair. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. In this story, everyone is a Marashose hunter.
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and
So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my.
yep, it can be any.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get.
Oh! So it would be like experiencing a different life.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence. Good.
So, should we all...
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to... For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situation.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose, let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be, but I'm not as...
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see.
You've all picked such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here.
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain
The script's world-building rules, huh?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn 7 then. Paimon can't...
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their... Since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time, though, would you like to play on easy mode?
what's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill, and if you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need... If you choose easy mode instead...
Given that I'd like to focus on the story...
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing game. Never knowing what you might have...
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play...
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to...
Are you sure?
Trust me. Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things too difficult for us, no matter what...
No?
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get...
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene...
Well, that's because, a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. Sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, as you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks. Your eyes meet, and you realize...
You're all Marechaussee hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood. What say you to traveling together? We can...
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marechaussee hunter and later...
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts.
Hey, you can do it, Farina.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and...
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and use what I've learned to heal others.
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover.
You open your envelopes at the same time, The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marachose Hunter, the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech..."
Huh. The layout of this city looks super familiar.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when...
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree... Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom. Who is...
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They sensed that things...
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monster.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the...
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full of information.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite lovely. If only those monsters out there would...
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads.
Oh, come now. Don't be sad. Life is all about optimism.
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons? I could...
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but...
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. Hey! Did she just...
Clorinde must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the fatometer. You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time and begin to carefully observe the woman's mannerisms. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously reaches out. So you noticed. That's... A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently. So all...
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my...
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as...
Don't worry. We'll find we don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we eat and how we respond to the things life throws our way. I hope that one day, you too will recognize...
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman, and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly.
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about...
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even...
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War is nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then...
Whoa, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of some...
A performance? I've never played a role-playing game like this before, but even I can tell that suggestion is pretty far-fetched. Is a By the harbor's grace, a lone boat lies in rest. Let the moon give chase, for here begins our quest. In the dark of shadow, our heroes seek to find where creatures born of evil weave their grand design. Blocked the road does stand, such is our hunter's plight. Yet with sword and courage in hand, they march forth to pierce the night.
I don't recall asking for a bardic song. Don't expect me to give you any but if you meant what you sang, and you are indeed some kind of hunter, then by all means, those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been we have limited reserves within the city, so if this-
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break us. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the
That is concerning.
Yeah, alright, I think I've said more than enough.
Got it.
Don't mind him, Farina. He just doesn't have enough...
No, I was just thinking about how those nobles must...
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach, still immersed in his own thoughts.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get... Hello, sir. Is there...
Wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness!
You recognize us? Ah,
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect...
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marachose hunt... However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil...
Are there not an...
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with... Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marachose hunters drove back. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales. But...
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous...
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with...
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them.
All I know is that the area outside... Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should...
I see.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. They're the reason even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that
talk about being stuck between a rock and a...
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Huh? Like,
I appreciate your kindness, brave hunters. I leave.
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving.
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city.
But which...
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that.
Well, Clorinde said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some.
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they...
No. All Marachose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down.
Huh? So you mean...
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship technique. Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter...
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh,
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to use that force to establish...
Now, wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script. We still haven't found any in-game information on him yet.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else,
wait. But those people are all from a super long time ago.
from my master.
Huh. By master, you... Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorinde over to play, but...
Let's not get off topic. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Cassiodor into battle against the monsters. This group of warriors, under Cassiodor's leadership, became known as... Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete.
Ah, I see. That explains why
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being...
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands
Speaking of investigations, which
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right?
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could...
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided that...
All right. After some discussion, you decide to turn around...
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat... I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever...
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What, you expect...
Sir, we were indeed in the city earlier, but your guards are still fighting the monsters as we speak.
The man regards you with doubt and concern. After a period of those monsters aren't easy to deal with, I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. "Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back," they yell.
This is the place he mentioned.
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and down all the signs point to one thing. A true...
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters...
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their blood...
A little help here. This thing...
Your battle round begins.
Umbrella form?
Let's get this show on the road!
Time to shine! Watch out!
The next battle round begins now.
Prepare to be blown away. Wingblade.
And
Watch out!
the monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into...
Ugh. Thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points.
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky.
That's part of the fun.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump.
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine.
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you succeed even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's...
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got...
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since...
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game...
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally?
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up...
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food?
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once... Well, it's getting late. What...
Wow! Where?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly...
Here, here. I'm...
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next...
Huh?
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set.
Whoa. They really pulled.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorinde finish.
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, and anyway, Paimon really does want to hear.
Well,
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all... My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from...
What a heavy beginning for a...
Master was a fascinating individual. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of
Oh wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde, but how old?
Probably around, 3.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to...
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what...
I'm not so sure this is a question.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once.
A Geovicious hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a...
And how...
5.
Well,
No,
So you're saying you actually became...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week...
that really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should...
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Mara. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met...
I still remember the first time we met.
I still hadn't really met...
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember?
I had a lot of fun during the...
I enjoyed them too. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but...
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago? The one who was always active...
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the... Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing... Although, calling herself the Protector of Order...
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just... Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2. The Protector of...
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the 2 she'd used by the time she got back.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her.
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years...
Disappeared?
I have no idea. She didn't... That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callis's...
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter and see...
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age,
We're...
I was at first, but not anymore.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the...
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But
Who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? And I wonder... if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then. Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde. Thank you for
anytime.
The script was good, but I've got... Hey, you should
You...
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy.
You're that excited to hear about my...
I was talking about...
Let's go meet up with the group! Paimon's really looking...
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday?
Is that really the most important part, though, Heavy walls, cold railings, dim lights.
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the Fortress of Merib.
So this set...
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anyone think Clorinde's smile is starting to look kinda...
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But if we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves...
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping...
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Why aren't you saying anything, Navia?
Oh, this is the short sword Clorinde mentioned last night.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave... Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig...
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet.
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like...
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks!
So, you reached an agreement? All right then.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces...
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the cap... The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere in places where sunlight struggles to reach. You generously share your thank you, kind soul. The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight. However,
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty
Oh, good.
just as you start to make way to the square, please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who
Do you think this could...
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just...
That sounds a little...
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks.
Wow, it's...
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent... He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. Ahem! They're here, your majesty. A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze...
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says nothing. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty, I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your... However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive...
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just... The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took a lot of effort to defeat... Well, there was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated them...
Well, we did take the...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the...
But that's completely
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried...
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without... What, no answer? Surely you're not insinuating...
Well, what...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready. Each...
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill intention. Before I decide your fate, however, I must...
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some...
But if we try to fight the
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're scared, Paimon.
Aw, thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away. It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dun... Stay here! And the guards lock the cell door.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall.
No!
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards...
What about that knife?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Well,
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible...
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison?
That is a
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait.
oh, before I forget, Navia, the shorts I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly,
Wait, Clorinde said that sword used to belong to her master.
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master.
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old... I gave you the sword back then, because
wait, when did...
after the duel between Mr. Callis and my...
Before that, Clorinde would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on after the duel, though. There was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. We were both sad and conflicted. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder. Back then,
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two...
Yep.
I'm sorry, you two.
Think nothing of...
Looks like the next part of our script...
Perfect timing. Be such a...
From Clarenne's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust. Suddenly, you hear...
Heads up, everyone.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice...
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own.
Huh?
Shh! I've already sent away the other guards, but if we...
I understand, but how...
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise.
Executed?
Monsters appearing at the same location as the trek...
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat his faction. Is too powerful. The guards are all under his control. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marshal...
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my... as long as my identity is not revealed.
In that case, please...
Thank you for your concern. I will do my up. As for the location of the vault...
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Mara, and be sure to...
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons.
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks...
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order that...
Wow, you...
Before you lies a serene stretch of...
Well, guess this means...
Oh, what's the matter?
As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily quiet...
Wow, this must be...
But this door is blocking our way in.
Huh. What have we got down here?
A pattern on a stone door. That's something Master meant.
Is something wrong,
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your map. Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers...
that describes...
We're doing this for the sake of the people.
Linny's right. We need to... The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle.
Yes. Something feels off about all this.
I found something!
Found something here, too.
Same here! Shower me with praise! It worked!
Something just appeared. Some kind of
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourself at the end of each puzzle.
With?
A key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key.
Huh?
You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly,
What's going on?
for the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone. Without the torches,
little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly, you hear the sound.
There's someone else here?
I've been
Wait,
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means we can't fight.
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marachose hunter.
Retreat? That's not the hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please
You got it.
Well then. Loaded.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
You're struggling.
Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure...
is it over? Can we open our eyes?
The enemy is strong and relentless.
What about now?
Final strike. Ha!
Well,
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, the four of you, that look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person as
Huh? Mr. Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. I should... Speak your name, guard. Why did you leave? Is this treasure really...
What kingdom? What? I, Florian, am a true...
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait, was that the...
Then I'm even more confused. If you
What do you know? In this day and age,
What's that supposed to...
my skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote. And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. The Marachose hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved more.
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy? I didn't
So that's why you want to take the trip?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you...
Because I...
only a true Marachose hunter, as someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain.
Okay, but...
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want...
And we've already defeated Florian, right? So...
What you're...
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Before you, you hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost...
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most
A stone
You call this a treasure vault? Looks more...
Maybe the troop ran out of...
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning, only to drop the ball at the most...
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the...
This is it? The Marachose hunter treasure is just... a stone...
Lord!
The Marachose hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of...
Then...
The old and broken.
Ready. So, how are you doing? Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to...
You mean these?
Huh?
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out. I've already dismantled the whole thing.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It would seem your skills as a Marasho...
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just roleplaying.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong. The feelings about my father and the other Marshose hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to...
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the treasure?
I can't remember.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean. Never talked about it?
No, I've heard of it. I'm just... Wait, it can't...
The seal?
My family has served as Marashose hunters for many generations. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. But I neglected that duty after he died.
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. If you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption.
I heard it has the power to...
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember...
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third... I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up on you. I never even saw you drink a sink. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then...
I won't comment on anything else.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marashose hunters.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter.
I have done so many to...
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in... Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain, and used the people as pawns to attain it?
But I've already tainted my sword.
Wake up, Florian. Remember how you Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved and acknowledged by the... You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. There's nothing special about a blade. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself? The contents of that room, they
You're right.
I wouldn't be so quick to push aside the need for...
I know. That's a...
Good. Then, come with me, and help me see the script through to the end.
Huh? See the script?
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring...
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil sorcerer still...
You mean the Devorator?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending where the hunters win.
You aren't afraid your party will fall?
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled.
Then, are you going to...
I don't intend to spoil the fun. Sometimes, protecting into the shadows.
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marashose hunters, please forgive me, for I have sinned.
Tone it down.
Sorry. After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I've rediscovered my true self and regained my...
Oh, do I smell?
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked me to lure you here.
That little... Wait, you're...
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under...
And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man. We're not going.
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. The treasure was actually.
The names of all the Marechaussee hunters from
Wait, you already.
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's exploration skills.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For she inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people, but in private.
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really.
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose I also have a few things in common with this Walt. Working as an executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle.
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments.
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind.
That's right. Few Marechaussee hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. The only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front.
So, this tablet was created not.
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn. The tablet proves that, although their legacies shall continue to be passed.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I. Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone. Please give me a chance to make up for all I've done.
Well,
Sounds good to me too. Everyone makes.
I have no objections, but Mr. Florian.
When he took over my mind, I gained some insight into his thoughts.
Huh? He's afraid of the treasure?
what if the GM permission to invest?
At first glance, the weapons appear absolutely ordinary. These blades have slain countless monsters. Though it's been a long time since they were used in battle, their edges.
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est. Maybe it'll find comfort in being held by someone.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a...
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being.
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find the...
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. We must be extremely careful.
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find some higher level gear?
No. We have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of his control.
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the...
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting.
Yes. That's what's called... Yes, that's exact...
All right, you've
Mr. Florian?
Of course.
He had to set up so many scenes today, and now he has to join in for this last part. I really don't envy.
Finally, you decide to slay. As you walk away,
Strike a pose!
finally, You arrive at the church. As you approach, an ominous aura surrounds you.
How strange. This uneasy feeling seems so real.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go!
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by... I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this close. If it corrupts...
That's exactly why I have to go. Yes. I intend to lure it.
That's too risky. If things get out of hand, I might have to kill you.
I understand, but if I do this, the Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance to enter a body it knows how to control. You're not like me, Miss Clorinde. You're a just and powerful Marechaussee hunter. This is... Consider it a duel to restore my honor.
Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a duel, and extend... The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble.
So lifelike!
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean... The names! It's the Marechaussee Hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marechaussee Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marechaussee Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call!
Petronia, protector of justice and order. The hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength.
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and the sorcerer was defeated. Peace soon returned to the capital. Those in the court, manipulated by the some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the Marechaussee Hunters. They will always protect the city and those within it. Yes, you've reached one of the better endings.
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary adventure at first, but that final battle is special.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Ah, that's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we picked up from that vault would have that
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. Oh, we should probably give these props back.
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if another script.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think I need some time to fully digest. Once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on my regards to him. He must be
You're right. He's had a lot to deal with.
Well, see you all some other time.
Okay, so, can
I think it should be fine, yeah.
What in the world was going on back?
So you saw through all of
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes, it'd be weirder if we didn't notice any.
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong.
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, wait. Don't tell me Paimon never... Oh.
Bit...
You're saying everything that
It's probably more accurate to say this was never a real scripted.
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now!
No, shake!
Did Paimon just hear that right? You guys made up that whole last part? It's not nice to lie to people, but Paimon's gotta admit, that was a...
Yeah, it was like watching a magician improvise a spectacular magic trick after
If Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated straight in the opposite...
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being out of control.
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected situations.
As for you,
I know there's no excuse for what I did.
I would say you've already suffered more than enough. You may have been blinded by fame and fortune in the beginning, but your actions during the final battle had proven you to be a true. You'll be far more used to the city above ground than below. Your job.
But
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged. Prepare to... As far as I'm concerned, though, your showing in the duel was enough.
then thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again.
Speaking of Marashose hunters, what should we do about the treasure in that cave?
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so...
No. Every name on that tablet made the same choice. I am no exception. My identity as a Marashose hunter.
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician.
Wait! Paimon just remembered something. If there were no special effects involved...
That's because the Marashose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to suppress the monsters.
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that guy near the end.
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of...
Oh?
This particular devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters. The names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters. Countless monsters fell to their blades.
So the names held the...
Navia, everything you
Huh? Oh, I
really appreciated those.
all right, all right. Anyway, let's not talk about that anymore.
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was truly incredible. I might have to... Good...
Traveler, should your name and deeds be forgotten, what do you...
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here, in the things we were able to accomplish. Even if...
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me? The Marachose hunter says nothing in response to... Perhaps her answer lies in her silence. An unspoken